Hey, this is Smooth Tim and Larry E, and welcome to another broadcast of Tim's Tid Bits. How's everybody doing out there tonight? How you doing tonight, Larry?
Good, good. You good, Tim?
I'm doing good. A little bit chilly, a little bit windy up here.
Yeah, it's kind of warm down here. It's windy. Yeah, it's very windy down here also. Yep,
Yeah, we're
I can
supposed to
say
be
that.
getting some more winds, and I see that tomorrow, I think morning, we're going to be getting those like 5, 6 in the morning, and they're talking about that wind's supposed to go through the tornado-stricken area again down in
Oh my
Kentucky and
goodness,
Tennessee. I was like, oh my God. So anyhow,
that's
hey,
terrible.
real quickly, our hearts and prayers are going out to those people, man. That's just, especially right before Christmas. What a time for it to happen.
Yeah, it's sad. Yeah,
It
start
is.
praying for them.
Yeah, they definitely. Anyhow, hey, on tonight's show, we're going to talk about 4 different topics, maybe 5, 6. Who knows what we'll ever get into? You can't trust either one of us.
Right?
But in anyhow, let's talk about CTE, which is traumatic injuries as a result of concussions in sports. And when it come to light, why I want to talk about it is I know they did an autopsy on that Phillip Adams brain, and they
Right?
found all kinds of issues. What was he at stage 3, something like that, of
Yeah,
this
yeah,
CTE, and you know, it bothers me that there's a lot of people out there sustained these head injuries yearly.
yeah. They say 87% of football players sustain head injuries, but you can understand that. That's football players alone. You got to think about hockey, boxing, and other sports that are very how can I say, very violent.
Well,
So,
think about it, not even necessarily violent, Larry. I mean, it could be something as simple as gymnastics.
oh really?
Well,
Yeah.
think
Well, I
about,
guess that's true. If you follow, yeah, yeah, I can see that.
and what kind of protection is put into place. And I understand where the NFL goes with the targeting rule. I think they
Right?
could take that a step further. I mean, you watch a couple of these replays. I don't know if you watch Sundays and Monday football, but my God, man, some of these guys are getting smoked.
Yeah, you know what? But it's changed. I know it's in college football. In college football, if it's targeted, you get ejected from the game. I think it's pro football too, though. So they're actually taking steps to prevent it. But at the end of the day, Tim, you know, these guys are still playing the game. They're still playing the game. Parents are allowing their small kids play the game. So everyone knows there's an issue with the brain injury thing. But at the end of the day, people still want to be involved in these sports, and I like watching them. But at the end of the day, it's like, is it worth it? Especially if you don't become a pro.
Right, right. And I think they have advanced. I think it comes down to head protection.
Yeah,
Number one, I remember when I started playing hockey as a young kid, we didn't have to wear helmets. We didn't
that's
have
old school.
we didn't have to wear mouthpieces. We was just out there, with sticks and gloves. Yeah, and
Like beast.
as it evolved through the time, you lost more teeth. You decided that it was a good idea to protect yourself, and uh,
Right.
and I think the same thing in football. They had leather helmets. They used to call them leatherheads.
Yeah, it's basically putting on what a skull cap or something like that, the leather skull cap. But the NFL, They got smart. They didn't want to pay out. They did it for. They didn't do it because they care about the players. They did it because they care about their bottom line. We're always about money. They didn't want to get sued. They didn't want to lose money. They try to protect their pocket. They try to protect the brand. That's why NFL did it, and that's why any of the professional organizations do it. They're trying to protect their brand. They really don't care about these players. They really don't, because these players still gonna play anyway.
Yeah, they're a dime a dozen.
Yeah. As a football player, as a football player. Not saying they're insignificant outside off of the football field, but on the football field, you're just another football player. It is what it is.
You're 100%. Hang on, just a second. Keep going, Larry.
Okay. Yeah, and that's the nature of the game, though, man. Because we all let our kids play football, hockey. We let them box, but we know that if they get lucky, there's a big payout. There's a big purse to get. There's a big bag in the end, but it's only, like I say, if the players are not being real concerned, then as an organization you should be concerned, especially if you're a professional organization. You got to protect your brand. So it makes sense for organizations to be more stricter when it comes to hitting and stuff like that. So it makes sense.
Oh, and I wonder what kind of workman's comp is in place for something like that if you sustain a serious brain injury like this. And is the NFL trying to play down the CTE that can be caused from these brain injuries?
You know what? Only reason why they're doing something about it is they know that there are repercussions. They know there are going to be repercussions down the line, and I think they're doing it to say that we did everything that we could do to help these guys. So when they do retire and have suicidal issues like Junior Seau did, they're going to say that we did our part. So you can't hold us accountable, and that's typical. It's business. And in the Players Association, they're like, we need to have stricter rules. We need to have better equipment, and the Players Association did their job for the NFL. So that's one thing I can say. NFL, the Players Association, those guys are really, really active and really trying to take care of each other. I don't know about the rest of them, but I hear a lot about the NFL when it comes to stuff like that.
It's interesting to know how far. I want to play a quick news clip on the Phillip Adams case because I don't understand what motivated him to kill these people.
It was a horrifying crime. Members of a doctor's family shot and killed in their home by a former NFL player. Now, an autopsy has determined he had an unusually severe case of brain damage he suffered from his days on the field.
It was a shocking crime. A former NFL player who shot and killed 6 people before turning the gun on himself. The victims were Dr. Robert Leslie, his wife Barbara, and 2 of their grandchildren. Also, 2 air conditioner repairmen who happened to be at the doctor's home in South Carolina. Police found no motive for the attack. The only connection seemed to be that the 32-year-old Phillip Adams lived in the neighborhood.
Now, researchers at Boston University who were asked to study Adams' brain say he was suffering from the debilitating brain disease CTE. Adams had unusually severe frontal lobe damage from being hit in the head over and over during his 6-season football career. Lisa McHale, whose husband suffered from CTE, worked on the Boston University study.
They're not the person that they used to be, and they sense that and they know that. And that's extremely disconcerting as a family member, but imagine what that's like for the person suffering from the disease. And it's very, very common that they ask the family, would you please see that my brain is studied if anything should ever happen to me?
Adams' former agent Scott Casterline says Adams was a changed man.
That's not who he was. He played with my kids. He played with my family. He was family. He stayed with me. This helps to make sense out of a senseless tragedy.
Boom. To your point, Larry, just like with the Seau thing, it doesn't make it makes no sense. What happened to him? Why? Why did this guy go off? What was Adams's issue?
Well, like I said, I don't think it just occurred just in the NFL. Evidently, he had to play football well before the NFL. He's probably played Pop Warner football, high school football, college football. So imagine how many times you get hit in the head. I'm like, how many?
Well, is there a magic number? I guess is the question. And I know.
Okay, this confuses me though, Tim. we see boxers that get hit in the head way more often, and they have no gear literally, other than the Olympics. And I don't think I heard of any case yet, I might be wrong, of any boxer going on a homicidal mission.
Yeah,
was just saying
of that nature to where they go off. I know, you see some do go through some personality changes, and I mean, I even look at like Mike for an example. Mike went through some personality changes. Whether that was because he was a star or whether he was getting hit in the head, I don't know.
No, Mike was fucked up before. That's how Mike was. He
But
just got.
Yeah, I know that what happens is, you get hit so many times and it just it elongates the brain, and it starts detaching neutrons and all these other things inside that should be working properly. And once it elongates because of this continuous blows to the head, that's why shit ain't working right.
But why is it always football players? Like, football is the only violent sport we have on earth. Why is it just
could be
football
because
players
of participation, if you think about it. I mean, if you look at in Europe, their main concern is their footballers, soccer players.
Right.
Going up and they get the, colliding heads or hitting, the ball continuously. And yes, they do suffer from concussions in the same sense.
Yeah, because they said there's no motive and nothing ties them together. That's what they're saying. So that's the only reason. That's probably, that's the only reason why I can say it could be an issue, because there's no motive. Like, he just randomly said, I'm going to go kill all these people, so. And he killed the guys in the yard. The yardmen, the AC guys.
Isn't that crazy as hell? That made no sense
I'm like,
to me.
Who kills the AC guy, bro? I'm like,
I don't like the way you're working.
Yeah, I'm like, in Texas, I'm like, you don't kill cops and you don't kill AC guys. I'm like, never kill the AC guy.
Yeah, especially when you're living in Texas or Arizona.
Yeah,
those two states know.
The gardener can get it, but not the AC guy. Yeah, he had some serious issues.
That's messed up. Hey, let's move on, brother. I know that, tis getting towards the end of the year, and Christmas is fast approaching, and as Christmas fast approaches, rather, so does a lot of scams. You and I talked a little bit about this just last week, but
'tis the season for gift buying, and tonight the Federal Trade Commission warns it's also the season for a surge in gift card scams. In just the first 9 months of this year, the FTC reports nearly 40,000 people were scammed, losing $148 million, almost surely an undercount. Here's how it works. Scammers email or call unsuspecting victims, posing as a love interest, company representative, even a government agent, telling the victim they owe money and must pay now, or they'll be arrested or their bank accounts frozen. The scammer tells the victims to buy gift cards at a local store, then read the card number to the scammer over the phone. Target gift cards were the most preferred by scammers. $2,500, the median amount lost by consumers. Then gift cards from Google Play, Apple, eBay, and Walmart.
Gift cards are for gifts. They're not for making payments. So if someone approaches a consumer saying that they need to make a payment using a gift card, it's a scam.
In Idaho, Julia Hillary got an email claiming there was a fraudulent charge on her Amazon account and providing a number to call back. When she did, the scammer told her to stay on the phone, go to the store, and buy a $500 gift card to fix the problem. Thankfully, the local store clerk recognized the scam and refused to sell her the card.
I think she noticed I was on the phone, had the phone up to my ear. I think she noticed that I was probably looking a little panicked. She knew the signs, and she caught on right away.
The red flags, say fraud experts, unsolicited calls or emails saying you owe money. If anyone tells you to buy gift cards and read back the numbers, it's a scam. Social Security and the IRS will never call asking for personal information or money. Scammers target gift cards because they're not traceable. Once they're used, they're gone, and getting your money back is nearly impossible.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.
And thank you, Lester Holt. No, but check it out, man. Amazing.
They got a scam called a fake gift exchange scam too.
What's that about?
it's like a secret sister gift. It's like you send in one gift, and then they send you back 36 gifts,
Like a pyramid
something like that.
scheme.
Yeah, you provide your name, address, information about your friends and all that, and they pretty much just take that information and they get you and get your money and they get everything from you. Then you think
That's like the old pyramid scheme or airplane ride, all that BS.
Right? Hey, but the biggest scam that no one really talks about is like the temporary holiday job scams. Those are worse. Those are the worst ones, because think about it, if you really, really need a job and you out there and they pay, okay, well, we're gonna hire you we're gonna hire you now and need your help. Then when holidays over with, you have no job. Post office is notorious for doing that. A lot of these companies, retail companies, they do that a lot.
Now I see that there's a lot of companies around, and I see here, Amazon beefing up, UPS beefing up, all these major carriers like that.
Let you go.
And I do believe you're right, Larry. They do, and we will have some, permanent positions available. Yeah, well, some 1, 2, out of how many hundred that you're hiring. Who knows? I mean,
I was a store manager. 9 times out of 10, if you're a seasonal, you're pretty much seasonal. It's gonna phase out probably a couple of months after you get the job. So seasonal, you should never ever get a seasonal job, only unless it's a side hustle.
There's always scams. I got an email today. I'm trying to think, what the hell did it say? It was from Norton Utilities, and my yearly billing for my gaming console protection, and they said your 4 years have successfully processed, and had like a $400 bill, and then it had like a little 800 number you could call out the bottom. I'm like, number one, I don't have that shit. Number two, I ain't calling your 800 number, because right there, it's a scam. Oh, you could get this. As soon as they bait you into that bullshit calling,
you're not getting your money back.
Right. And I mean, if it's a fraudulent charge on your card, people, the bank and or the credit card's going to give you your money back. If you didn't make the charge, don't sweat it. Don't be chasing and giving your information out.
Yeah.
Don't be an idiot.
Never buy a gift card to pay a bill, or a gift card. If you buy a gift card, never read your numbers out to anyone. That's your gift card. So anytime someone asks you to do that, you get scammed. That's a dead giveaway. You should never read out because the card is nothing. It's just the numbers on the card. That's what you need. That's what makes it active. That's why I said we don't need the card. Just give me your number. You do that, you're done. You pretty much got scammed. And like they say, the IRS, they're gonna send you a letter.
Absolutely. The IRS does not call you. The IRS will send you a letter. There's another very good point, Larry.
Yeah, they're going to send you a letter.
You're not going to get the IRS saying, oh, this is the IRS and we need your information. You already got my damn information.
Right? I almost got, exactly. You got that social. That's all you need to know.
You got everything you need to know about me, so you shouldn't be calling me.
Hey, I got scammed by my dentist. I went and got a crown. Now they say I need a root canal on the same crown. This tooth is hurting me worse. It hurt white people when Trump got kicked out of office. Man, I'm telling you.
I'm not a root canal fan with the crowns. From where I had a crown, then eventually what happens is you're still going to have to get that crown replaced, because you're still going to get acids and sugars and stuff that are going to get in underneath there. And basically it's going to rot the tooth beneath the crown.
Just get it pulled.
So you may as well just get it pulled and, hey, get one of those permanent anchored in.
Yeah, just get your whole bottom grill just straight up gold out with new bottom teeth.
It's going to cost you a whole hell of a lot of money less money actually in the long run. You think, what is it for a root canal? $500-600 bills?
It's more than that now.
A good set of teeth going to cost you what, $5-6 grand?
Yeah, and then you get street credit with goals.
So, hey, yeah, exactly. I've seen that grill that your brother wears.
Right? Hold on. I had technical difficulties. Hold on.
Don't even play that.
Okay. My stuff on. Okay. What happened?
I ain't hip. You tell me.
Okay, I think I'm good. Okay, go ahead. Keep going, Tim. I'll fix it up.
Oh, what? You got some issues back there, Larry?
Yeah, I'm just trying to hide. Okay. My bad. No. What was that?
Okay. No, we're talking about grills.
Okay, I'm good now.
Okay. I don't know what you were doing.
I'm knocking pictures all off my wall. I'm
Oh, you got all excited talking about that. No,
cold.
how did we get into a conversation on freaking teeth?
I got scammed by the dentist. A
Oh,
scam.
we're talking about scams. Yeah, that's right.
It's retail scam.
There's a million of them, and I couldn't believe it when I got that email. I'm like, this is such bullshit. And there's a million of them, and you gotta, when these people are coming to your door, and I think we covered that last week or 2 weeks ago. People are coming at your door, and contributions. They don't need your Social Security. They don't need your DOB. There's none of that necessary.
No.
And definitely don't be giving these people your credit card information with the security code off the back.
Yeah, they got charity scams. What about the fake Santa Claus? How you know it's a real Santa Claus? How you know it's a real Salvation Army in front of the store? How they got so many. They got the scams where some of the kids walk around saying, "Yeah, I need you to donate $3 or $4 for my football program." And I'm like, I don't know, because I've seen one time where those kids did that and they weren't even part of the football program. They were just hustling, scamming.
Sad. Hey, man, I want to say you brought this to my attention. You'd sent me a little email, and the question is, I was shocked. I said, Robocops. Wait a minute.
There's a new fleet of crime-fighting robots that look a bit like R2-D2. These robots are being made in the heart of Silicon Valley next to NASA's Ames Research Center. Nightscope, the company behind the robots, plans to rent them out for less than minimum wage. I went to speak with co-founder of the company, Stacy Stevens, to find out more.
How would these robotic mall guards actually protect people in the mall? Because I'm thinking I'm some punk kid, and I'm going to respect a human way more than I'm going to respect a robot.
Well, think of it like a marked patrol car on the side of the street. These are not there to intervene with anything being done. They're there actually to provide a commanding presence, to actually have something there similar to the patrol car on the side of the street. Everybody sees that and they immediately say, okay, I need to behave. So it's not about having a human presence necessarily, it's just about having an authoritative presence.
I know they have cameras in them, but you could also just place cameras. I mean, there are already cameras in the mall. So what else does this robot do?
Well, going back to when I was a police officer, one of the first things they teach you is you have to have a use of force, okay? And that first use of force is the commanding presence. So what a camera that is mounted up on top of a building does is absolutely no presence. There's nothing about that that says, hey, I'm here.
In the mall and I think, okay, it tells me I'm being watched. And I'm like, all right, I mean, I don't think in criminal terms, but I would think a criminal would maybe think about that a little
Absolutely.
bit.
I mean, you got to put yourself in the shoes of a criminal, right? They're looking for opportunity. They're looking for the ability to be able to do something. And if you take that ability away from them, they're going to move on to the next place. So when they come onto a property and they see all these machines everywhere, they're like, oh my God, what do these things do? What are they capable of? And who's watching me? And in that case, they really don't, they start to think, okay, do I really want to spend the night in jail tonight? Probably not. And then they move on to somewhere else.
The design itself is a little bit scary. I'm going to out myself as a nerd, but it looks like kind of like a Dalek from Doctor Who.
Well, we like to think of them as R2-D2, something a little bit more cute. When we put them out at a shopping center, we actually found people were excited about it. They look at them and they run towards them, and we have two things have come up. One is the robot hug, and two is the robot selfie, and those have taken place everywhere we go. People just kind of come out of the woodwork. They think they're cute.
You also have a different, interesting business model where you're not selling these robots, you're actually renting them out.
Absolutely, absolutely. So it's like every other technology. We are advancing so very quickly that if we were to sell them, in a few months' time, they're going to be obsolete. So by using this as a service, we're actually able to keep up with technology. We're able to make those hardware, software, firmware upgrades, and give our customers a much better product.
Yeah, and it's going to be, what, $6 or less than minimum wage?
Correct.
Yeah, so the robots really are taking our jobs, maybe.
No, I don't think they're taking the jobs. I mean, you really need a tool that will help you to do your job better. Thinking of the security guard. Security guard can only be in one place at one time. If you give them the technology to be able to access on their mobile phone all of this wealth of information created or generated by the machines, they're actually going to be able to do their job better. So we're not looking to take their job, we're looking to augment them and do so at a very, very affordable price.
Okay, I'm still waiting for the robots to take over, but thank you so much for speaking with us.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I'm with her. I'm waiting for the robots to take over.
That ain't nothing but a mechanical Karen. That's all it is, a mechanical snitch. That's what they're going to do.
A mechanical snitch. You know, it's interesting. Now they have a lot of them actually deployed in the San Francisco area, which makes sense because it's next to the Silicon Valley area, which is producing these robots. Mm-hmm. And apparently, the big problem is like it's around some of these high-end areas, the robots are hassling the homeless.
So what's the robot doing? Going up like, why are you sitting here?
You need to move.
Yeah. You're not allowed here. Taking pictures. The homeless guy laying down, the robot bumping into him. Move.
It does, but it does remind you of this garbage. I mean, how far is it going to go?
That's so stupid. You know what? That robot will help out if it's like doing surveillance and taking pictures and stuff like that. And giving more extra information for the officers to look at, or a police officer or a security officer. Other than that, if a crime happens, a purse snatching or whatever happens outside, that robot can't do anything but record it. And once somebody decides to have a shooting and then shoot the robot, but it's still gonna be recorded though. So it's the information be there.
Yeah, but are you 100 on that? Check.
No, I think it's
I want you to check this out real quick. Seriously, this will blow your mind. You got me going on this stuff.
Oh, you did some more digging?
I'm standing next to two Amicas. They're our latest generation of humanoid robot designed for human-robot interaction. So the reason for making a robot that looks like a person is to interact with people. So human face is a very high bandwidth communication tool, and that's why we've built these expressive robots. A lot of people working on AI, interaction, all kinds of new apps that are using vision systems, segmentation, face recognition, speech recognition, voice synthesis. But what you don't see is the hardware to run all that software on. So what we're trying to provide is a platform for AI. It's really been sort of 15 years in gestation. It's got a very different look on the outside. So we've gone for something, we've tried to be gender neutral, race neutral. We're just trying to make something that has the basic human characteristics, expression, without putting anything else on top of that. So hence the gray faces. And a lot of communication is not verbal. So it's not all about speech, it's about expression, it's about gestures. A simple move like that can mean 1,000 words. The robot doesn't have to say anything. So the last thing we wanted to make was a robot that says, please repeat the question. So it's about trying to do natural human interaction. So imagine there's been a lot of talk about metaverses recently. Imagine taking your metaverse character out into the real world. You'll need some embodiment for that. So you wanted to take your virtual self to a meeting in New York, Hawaii, Hong Kong, send a robot.
Well.
I could have sworn a robot was going to do this and give us the finger. I was waiting for that finger to come. You saw that he did that? I said, he's going to give us a finger. Tim, come on, man.
Doesn't that blow your mind?
That robot made the other robot look like crap.
And interesting is that particular clip is from like a week ago. The particular clip of the first robot that we were talking about, that's like 3 years old. 3 years they've been working with that particular robot, deploying it around. But you look where they went to this robot and putting artificial intelligence into it, so it's learning
iRobot, man. It's crazy. It's like the movie. It's like the stuff you see in like remember what was that movie? Alien. When they had the alien, when he was really a robot and he got torn in half in the end, he was a robot the whole time. It's like something like that. It's I don't think it's necessary. I think it's a little bit too much. I think it's going to backfire in the end somehow, some way.
It's going to be interesting, kind of like Terminator. Well, you'll never know. I mean,
I forgot about Terminator.
You're going to have a war against the machines, but even yet, and this one really blew my mind. I mean, you got me going when you sit there and sent me that. I'm like, my God, I can't believe they got these robots.
I just thought he was going to give us the finger. I said, if he gives us the finger, I'm going to die.
They got these damn robots out there, and it's like, I wonder how far we've came in, artificial technology and the robots, right?
Hey, then he was saying, like, if you don't want to go to a meeting, send your robot. I'm like, shit, if I want to go to work, I send a robot, Larry.
Well, let's real quick. And this is while about 4 years ago when we was all hanging down in Dallas. Remember when they sent the robot in to blow up the shooter?
Yeah, I remember that, yep.
So, are the practical purposes for it? Yeah.
Well, in that case, I can understand that. But, like, they're trying to just create a robot that mimics
humans.
And it's identical to us. And you can't replace a human with a robot.
But even taking another step further, who knows where this is going to go? You know who Elon Musk is, right? The guy that shoots people up into space too?
Uh-huh.
Check out what he's doing.
As you can see, Pager is amazingly good at mind pong.
In 2020, it was a pig with a chip in its brain. In 2021, it's a monkey playing video games. Elon Musk's Neuralink has just unveiled its latest brain-computer interface, showing a 9-year-old monkey named Pager controlling a game of Pong with its mind, all thanks to a Neuralink chip implanted in each side of its brain. The demo starts simple enough. The monkey plays a simple game on screen using a joystick. If he moves the joystick the right way, he gets a banana smoothie. But all the while, the game is using the chip inside the monkey's brain to train a computer to understand his movements. The Neuralink chips are surgically implanted inside Pager's skull. They connect to his brain via more than 2,000 electrodes, each one about 1/20th the width of a human hair, and implanted in the regions of his brain that control hand and arm movement. Each time the monkey moves his hand left or right, that movement begins as an electrical signal in his brain, an impulse that eventually sends the message down his arm to move his hand. But the Neuralink implants read these signals while they're still inside the brain, before the monkey has even moved, when the movements are still just intentions. The chips are connected via Bluetooth to a computer that reads the brain signals in real time and matches them to the monkey's hand movements. And here's the wild part. When the team disconnects the joystick, the computer can still predict where the monkey is going to move his hand. No joystick required.
After only a few minutes of calibration, we can use the output from the decoder to move the cursor instead of the joystick. Pager still moves the joystick out of habit, but as you can see, it's unplugged. He's controlling the cursor entirely with decoded neural activity.
Eventually, the monkey wasn't even using the joystick anymore. He was playing a game of Pong, just using his mind. And this is when we got a hint of how Neuralink could be used in human patients. Instead of using a joystick, a person with paralysis could train a computer simply by imagining an action. And that brain signal could be picked up in real time by their Neuralink implant. In a tweet shortly after the monkey video was posted, Neuralink founder Elon Musk said the first human Neuralink would allow someone with paralysis to use a smartphone with their mind, faster than someone using their thumbs. From there, Musk said later versions of the Neuralink could be used to shunt brain signals to separate clusters of Neuralinks in the body, potentially allowing paraplegics to walk again. Of course, these are all very lofty goals and a long way off watching a monkey play Pong. But then again, the new demonstration is already a long way from what we saw in 2020 with Gertrude the pig. That Neuralink was just reading the pig's nose signals as it snuffed through the straw. This new demo showed us a far more advanced brain-computer interface, a brain literally interfacing with a computer game in real time. We may not have a timeline on a human Neuralink implant, but from this latest demonstration, our sci-fi future might not be that far off.
Opinion?
That's impressive, man. You know, if they're going to use something like that to better the human race, I'm down with it. I'm for it. But we all know that we do stay in this world that we stay in, and it's going to be some greedy person or individual or group that's going to use that in a negative manner. Now,
well, wait a minute. Well, think about if they hack your brain or they put some type of a virus in your computer chip.
Yeah, as I'm saying, you can't trust human beings when it comes to that much power. That's too much power, man. When you can just like you see in the movies, just stick something in your brain and I'm connected to a keyboard or a controller, and everything you do, I do, you do. I'm like, they've been trying to. I guess if they can't turn us into robots, they're going to make us into a robot. If they can't replace us with robots, they're going to turn us into robots. I mean,
right, right. Well, you see the mechanical legs that possibly like a paraplegic could get, and I can see it working for a paraplegic, perhaps, where their mind could control the mechanics of their prosthetics.
I think the first people that should get that are military soldiers that are wounded in battle and they have lost their limbs. They should be the first ones to get that kind of technology with little or no cost.
Wouldn't that be great?
Should be all over that.
Wouldn't that be sweet? And who knows that they're not? You know, they made the comment, well, it's not been tried on humans. I cry BS on a lot of that.
Somebody's going to volunteer.
Yeah, somebody's got to volunteer if it has not already happened.
Yeah, somebody's volunteer. They're screwing with us. We know how they are.
Yeah, I know. I watched. Well, hey, think about it. We watched The $6 Million Man growing up.
Yeah, I remember that. Why haven't they made a movie of that, man?
See?
They done made all these X-Men movies and all these Avenger movies. Where's the $6 Million Man? We need to have like a show where we talk about $6 Million Man. Knight Rider. They haven't made a new Knight Rider movie. It's on Netflix, the old one. They miss on a lot of movies.
Where's Kit when you need him?
Hey, what about the Fall Guy? Where's the Fall Guy movie at?
Was the Fall Guy with computer type stuff?
Well, he was Lee Majors. He was a stuntman, but they haven't made a movie called Fall Guy yet.
Right. I'm thinking of these people that are all mechanical and or computer driven. Kit was computer driven.
I'm just throwing something out there.
Yeah, you're just throwing bones out there. Stop it, Larry.
I know, right?
Hey, the other thing I wanted to talk about, man, and this one blows my mind too. Right? And, wait. What is that at? Oh, yeah. The NASA DART mission. Have you been watching that on TV? What they're intending on doing?
No, not necessarily. You kind of hit me with that one. I was like, I had to read up on that a little bit.
This is like some futuristic shit that they're trying to where they have the ability to divert and or destroy asteroids that could possibly come and cause some type of a havoc and or destruction to the Earth. So this is
smart.
Yeah, it's smart. This is long-term technology.
In case there was an asteroid coming towards Earth and you're there, you can actually stop it. I mean, that's kind of fantastic.
NASA is crashing a spacecraft into an asteroid.
What?
You think science fiction, but this is real. Never in my life would I have thought I would take a couple $100 million spacecraft and crash it into an asteroid. My name is Michelle Chen.
I'm Lena Adams. My name is Kelly Fast.
I'm Andy Rifkin.
I'm Justina Sorovitz, and I help tell the story of the DART mission.
I'm a planetary defender.
And I study how the orbits of asteroids change after we hit them with spacecraft.
My job was primarily to make sure all the systems on the spacecraft work together.
The DART mission is NASA's first test of a planetary defense technique called kinetic impactor.
DART is the double asteroid redirection test.
It's just a spacecraft that is going to go and smack an asteroid.
The moonlet Dimorphos, which orbits the asteroid Didymos.
And see if we can change its trajectory just a little bit.
In order to show that we can deflect incoming asteroids if we need to.
DART will only be changing the period of the orbit of Dimorphos by a tiny amount, But in space, just a little bit is just enough to make an asteroid actually miss us.
In the event that an asteroid is discovered well ahead of time before it might impact Earth.
Behind me, you see the spacecraft.
It's really cool to see it coming together in real life.
It is fantastic to see it in real life.
To see it turn from ideas into real pieces that are gonna go into space.
The solar arrays will actually roll out to 28 feet in length.
Once the solar arrays are deployed, it's going to be the size of a school bus. As the solar array opens out, it's going to swing out in this direction. The asteroid's only 2 football fields in size.
We're flying at over 6 kilometers a second.
30 days out, we see 1 pixel on our field of view.
You can see Didymos and Dimorphos as 1 point of light.
About 4 hours out, our spacecraft becomes autonomous.
And then that's where everything gets really exciting.
You actually are seeing impact.
We're super excited and nervous as well.
I feel really honored and humbled to be working in an area of science that has such a broader impact, figuratively and literally.
So dark. The dinosaurs are made completely extinct by an asteroid impact so many years ago. Here we are, we can actually do something about it. I think this is just wonderful.
Who's going to pay for it? Taxpayers.
Well, there's not going to be damn taxpayers if they all get destroyed. So what the fuck, you know?
You be looking like, man, damn asteroid. I'm like, that's like God against science.
And I was just making money off of that stock, and asteroid had to hit Earth.
I know, right? I might just go ahead and invest in it if they start really putting that out there. I was like, man, I got my money tied up in this asteroid machine. I can't really put no money on. I can't bet on the game. My money on the asteroid machine, man. We trying to save the Earth, baby.
No, isn't that some science fiction, futuristic type stuff? That's amazing. That's like Armageddon. You know, you see this stuff in the movies. You know, we watch movies, and you see, as we discussed, wow, back in TV days, we're watching $6 Million Man. You know, guy with robotic legs. There's people out there with those. We're watching, Knight Rider. You mentioned. Kit the self-driving car. They're here.
Yeah. Yeah.
You see, where they're talking Armageddon, right? Where Bruce Willis goes up in his gang and they blow. Look what we're looking at.
Man, it's like.
So like the old saying was what? Science fiction today, science fact tomorrow.
Yes, because, it's going to happen. I don't know. Look at from what we know about the prehistoric age, the meteorites came out and destroyed the Earth or whatever and started everything all over. Yeah, I'm pretty sure everything goes around, comes around, everything piece of it's going to happen again eventually. But I guess they're trying to say we're going to stop it this time. Or they just I don't know. I think it's kind of like they playing God, and I really do think that you need to have something in place just in case we can save the Earth. But I don't know.
You know what? And I'll tell you, all this revolves around these people being able to calculate all this out so that they can how they can work out the math, obviously with supercomputers. There we go back to computers again. How you can calculate out the trajectory so you can make an exact hit is amazing to me.
It is, and I like it though, because it's like we're just moving forward in life, and that's what the life is. You got to move forward in life. You should never stay stagnant. So we come from Henry Ford first inventing the car with one horsepower or 2 horsepower, what it was compared, and now we got the self-driving cars with the electric cars, all electric cars that are a truck that can light your whole house up in the case of emergency if you lose your power. So,
isn't that amazing?
I'm like that's part of what we are as humans. So evolution. So I'm cool with it.
I say this to my grandchildren, we learned how to, work on cars and turn a screwdriver growing up.
Mm-hmm.
You younger generation now need to understand computers. Y'all need to understand how it processes, the different processing technologies that are available to you. And you need to understand probably some robotics.
Yeah.
Because I envision, as you just mentioned a minute ago, that's where we're going to be.
Yeah, they can teach some robotics in school. There should be an elective or something like that. I'm like, this is the crazy part about it is. The crazy part about it is we're moving forward as a race, as a human race. evolution. Everything is changing, but we still doing old things. Like education is still the same, basically. They're still teaching home economics and all that crap, you know, in school. Now, why don't you teach some of these things? So everybody has their hand in it, and everybody knows how to protect themselves and work these type of robots and know how they work and don't work, just in case they do turn on us.
Yeah, you almost have to get to a STEM school to get that kind of stuff. If you're fortunate enough to be able to get into it and can afford it.
Yeah, I'm just saying, even with robotics, you can teach the basics, you know, when it comes to just hydraulics and maybe computer programming, something like that, or something. There's got to be some entry-level robotics that you can teach these high school students. There's maybe the AP classes as they move on, because you know some classes you can take in high school as you move on before you even get into college. For those engineers or those advanced students,
Your kids are not in high school yet.
No, but they have. But the thing about it is, they didn't teach these updated classes. Even when I went to AP. You know, I went those big high classes. I was barely getting by. You know what I'm saying? I was alright, but I went like with the smart kids. But they were still teaching some junior college courses in high school. So you had that. So when you get out of high school, you can actually have maybe some of your basics out the way.
Yeah, we had college preps in school when I was in high school. Then you could apply the credits.
Yeah, see, I didn't get none of that.
Well, it all depends on where you go to school. We talk about this.
No, I just went into that. I got my mind right now, though.
And we talk about this. It's amazing. Sylvia and I actually discussed this. Queen and I actually discussed this, and in the education process, we kind of got off a topic. But from an inner city school to a suburban, larger, school, it's amazing. The curriculum content is so much more intense to get you into college. Where I see is a lot of the inner city is just to get you the hell out of high school.
Yeah, like this.
I mean, I'm not trying to.
That's how it is. That's how it's set up. It was set up like that from the beginning because it was less value. Those people were less valued because those people were just the ones that worked in the industries just to get everything else going in the industrial movement. So they didn't really value those people, and most of those people really stayed in the inner city because that's where the industries were. Am I correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the factories and stuff were there, and factory workers were nobody. That's how they looked at them. So why would they give them some of the best schools? You know, that's a setup from day one. But you have to work to live.
Oh yeah, I see. We see that right here in our area. I mean, we had with Toledo with the Jeep, home of the Jeep. There was Libby Owens Ford was here making glass. You had all kinds of AC Delco was in here. Autolite, the spark plug companies. There's all kinds of different auto manufacturing sub suppliers, right, for your vehicle. And then once the auto industry started going to squat. But you're right, the inner city where they were pooling the factory workers, and who cares how well educated you are? Can you turn a screw? Can you push a button?
Can you make me that dollar? Can you just do this basic job without the skilless workers? That's all, but that's what everybody wants. Everybody wants that worker that is gonna conform to the work norm. Whatever they require you to do, they want you to do it. They want workers. They don't want thinkers. They don't want people to think outside the box, and they want to make a difference and have a great idea. They don't want all that because they got to pay them for it.
That's why that's why you end up with a union. Ask Starbucks.
Yeah, and then you got to pay the union. So yeah, that's how it works, man.
Anyhow, man, that covers our topics. But as usual, we always like to go to Larry at the end of the show and say, hey, Larry, tell us what the hell we need to know about fitness as we're approaching the holidays.
What's up, everyone? This is Larry Estelle of LRE Fitness Solutions. We keep you moving. Holidays is coming. Drink water. That's the first thing because everyone's going to drink alcohol. Drink water, stay hydrated as much as possible. And make sure that to avoid having serious hangovers and being sick the next day, consume food. I'm not going to tell you what food to consume because I'm not a registered dietitian, a licensed dietitian, I'm sorry, but consume food. And I'm going to give you a workout tip. When you're working out or training, know what you're training for. Know if you're training for strength, know if you're training for power, know if you're training for endurance or stability. Because your workout program should be around what you're training for. For example, if you're training for stability, muscle endurance, make sure you don't do less reps. You do a lot of reps. If you're training for strength and muscle growth, you do less reps. So muscle endurance, high reps, power and strength, less reps. So know what you're training for, know what you're doing, because you don't want to fatigue yourself out if you're trying to get strong, or you don't want to lift too much weight and then your muscles can't recover fast enough if you're trying to get muscle endurance. So that's my tip from Larry Estelle, LRE Fitness. We keep you moving, drink water, know what kind of program you're on, don't overwork yourself, don't underwork yourself. You can find me on Facebook at LRE Fitness and Instagram, LRE Fitness Solutions. Yeah, let's get pumped.
Let's get pumped up. Hey, 2 questions. I always was taught, and maybe that's old school, but you should alternate between in your exercising, whether it's for your endurance training one day and strength training the next.
Well, it's just different because if you're a runner, you don't lift heavy weights. You do light reps and you do your endurance, you do your running or whatever you do, swimming too. If you're a swimmer, you don't lift heavy weights. You just do a lot of swimming and you do a lot of light weights with high reps. And you want to mimic, if you can, find workouts that mimic whatever you do. So if you're a swimmer, you might want to find some exercises like lat pull downs or lat pull backs that mimic you swimming or whatever. Now, when it comes to, now what's the other question when it comes to?
Alternating between endurance and strength training.
And well, you really can't, because if you're doing endurance training, it's going to make you kind of weak when it comes to strength training. If you're doing strength training, it's going to require you to have a lot more rest periods to recover from the strength because you're lifting heavier weight. And then when it comes to endurance, the key to endurance is you don't want long rest periods. You want short rest periods. So you can't mix strength training with endurance training. Now, if you how can I say it? If you just, because it's going to take away. If you do endurance training, you're going to lose some muscle and strength. You do strength training, you're going to lose that endurance and that flexibility. So you really got to put them both together. So you got to just find a medium point where you can do both of them, where you're not interrupting both sides.
Right.
I do strength and endurance training. On some of my off days, I might get a sandbag and do a full sandbag day training, or I might just do a day where I'm doing just all body weight training, dips, push-ups, sit-ups. I might do sandbag training, just squats, lunges, or whatever. Something that's not real heavy but has a little weight on it, and I'll do that maybe on 1 week.
But I think, you know what? Sometimes I believe breaking up those type of exercises keeps you motivated, and it doesn't seem so monotonizing.
No, you can, but if you're professional, but I'm not a professional. I'm not a professional athlete or whatever. But if you're a professional, if you're a bodybuilder, if you're a bodybuilder, for example, you cannot do endurance training. You have to do a lot of heavy weight, low reps, and long rest periods. If you're a runner, you can't do power training. You got to do less. You got to do more reps, less weight, and shorter rest periods to build the aerobic.
It'd be an easy way to pull a hammy, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I tried it, man. I'm telling you, I weighed 240, and I'm out there trying to run a 400-yard dash. I was pulling hamstrings every week.
I bet.
Squatting 300 pounds and then go out there and try to run a 400-yard dash. I stayed injured. I had to make a decision.
I remember, when running back in high school, and the coach would run us about 2.5 miles out to the university, and then we'd have to run 4 400s at the time, 4 400s, all under 60 seconds, or we had to do another one.
But were y'all doing like weight training at the same time?
No.
You can't, because you can't do it. Not when you're doing that.
No, that was strictly endurance training.
Okay, yeah. Now, if you're off season, if you're doing just weightlifting off season, like I think a lot of football players in the off season, when they're not playing football, they do a lot of heavy weightlifting. They get their strength back up or whatever. Because during the regular season, you can't really lift like that because you work more on technique and you work on endurance. Because you, like receivers, for example, and running backs, they get those gains in the off season. They come back, they put on about 10, 15 pounds. Regular season, you're going to lose that. You're going to lose a lot of that weight, that strength too.
Interesting.
But it's hard to do both of them, Tim, because It's hard. If you're gonna do it at a high level, it's very, very hard to power, strength, muscle build, and add that in with stability and a muscle endurance. It's very hard.
I would think that I would probably care more about endurance training than unless I'm playing football or maybe a pro wrestler.
As we get older, especially as you get older,
I'd focus on endurance.
Yeah, because it doesn't make sense for you to be in your 50s trying to lift 500 or 600 pounds. Why? Because the strongest heart in the strongest muscle in your body is your heart. And at the end of the day, that's what you're gonna depend on mainly is your heart. So if you're not incorporating some kind of cardio exercise in with your weight training during your training, at least 10, 15 minutes of cardio, you're really hurting yourself. Because I've seen bodybuilders that have heart attacks. What's that doing in Cali? Cali Muscle? Doing Cali Muscle. He just had 2 heart attacks recently, and he had a lot of plaque built up in his heart, and he just wasn't doing a lot of cardio at all. He was just muscle training and taking some steroids and stuff like that.
High carb, all that other BS.
Yeah, so and I told people, they said, Larry, you kind of thinner now. You're skinnier. I'm not really skinny. It's just that back then I was doing more muscle gain and strength training. So I stayed bulky because I lifted heavy weights constantly. Now, once I started doing my endurance training, because I got bored with that, then
that's what I said.
It kind of settled down to the size it normally is. So I weighed 240, and then I started doing my cardio. Now I weigh 210.
That's the one thing is I think you got to come up with some type of variety. Even if I'm doing strength training for a week, there's got to be a variety. Otherwise, you're going to get into the boat that you fell into. It's like, I'm getting tired of this shit.
That's for professional. I'm professional level. If that's what you do, powerlifting, and you do that for a professional, as a professional or bodybuilder, you really can't break up your routine. You gotta stick with the heavy weights to be competitive with other guys, because they're not gonna go out there and run those 400s. No, they stand in the gym.
You heard?
So that's what I'm saying. Now we need to break it up. We need to break it up so you won't get bored. Do sandbag training, body weight training, maybe swim, run. I swim, I run, jump rope, sandbag. I'll do weightlifting. I play basketball, the volleyball, name it. And I'm good at every sport. I'm decent at every sport. If I played any regular Joe,
I figure I'd teach your horn for you.
Oh, hold on. Is there any regular Joe out there that thinks you in greater shape than I? Regular Joe. I ain't talking about those professionals and football players. Regular Joe.
Average Joe. And now, just like the show, average Joe. Just average Joe.
Come see me. I'm ready. I take on any competition. I'll swim you and outrun you. Okay, I'm ready. I'm sorry, Bragg.
Man, let's get the heck out of here. I'm ready to get me something to eat too. And
I'm going to the comedy club tonight.
Improv.
No, I'm going to a place called Twilight in Fort Worth, Texas.
Oh, that's where you had been going. That's the second time you went there. Oh, well.
Yeah, so I got some personal training jokes I'm going to hit them with, so it's going to be fun tonight.
Cool. Well, anyhow, I am Smooth Tim. You can keep up with me on Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr, all that good stuff. Easier just to Google me or go to www.thequeensillyshow.com and get on our contact list and find out from all of our shows that we do here. Larry, I know you said you could be followed, so let's say until next week. Larry and I'll holler at you. Peace.
Yeah. Peace.
Take care, brother.
Yes, sir.